Today, I would like to talk about one of the most annoying problem of any business. This is a situation that any sales department head, sales director, as well as any salesperson. So, for instance, imagine the situation that you talking with a prospect, you had the first, second meeting, and then suddenly the person disappeared. They do not reply the message, and this is one of the most annoying situation that can happen, or even the worst annoying situation when you send the proposal already to the client and you thinking you are on the last stages for the closing this deal, and after sending that proposal you hear nothing from the client, and then the deal is gone. Or even much more annoying situation when you negotiate in the contract and the same situation happens. Client do not follow up after some conversation, and they don't reply your email, they don't reply your phone call, they don't reply your messages. This is really annoying, and I guess if you have at least like 2-3 years experience in the sales, you know what I'm talking about. Even the newbies, they know that very often happen that we talk with somebody, have the first discovery call, and then disappearing, even though we feel that this was okay. In my opinion, the most annoying about this is the reason that you, your team, sales manager, are the one to negotiate the contract, maybe even delivery team, even technical team joining interview, anyone engaged in the sales process. We strongly believe that everything went very well. And sometimes this is not true because we are not objective. And that's why this is so painful. And if we get a little bit deeper, from my experience, the biggest reason and the biggest problem why the client is disappearing, not contacting with you after any stage, the early stage or a late stage of the sales cycle, it's that the lead qualification hasn't been done correctly or wasn't done at all. And this is what we will be talking today. We will talk about the lead qualification, what it is. First of all, that's the most important. What it is, because I noticed that many companies, they still do not have a lead qualification. How to qualify a lead and when. This is also very important. What the tools we can use to make the whole process more effective and easier for everyone. And this will be subject of today's podcast. So get ready, because this podcast can help you to save a lot of stress. Let's start. My name is Adam Skoneczny, and you are listening to Go Global Asia podcast. I've been living in Asia for the past 8 years, and as the CEO of EVIT organization, I have spent the last 6 years helping Asian IT companies expanding into Western market by building professional sales team and sales processes. In this podcast, I discuss everything related to sales in IT industry as well as collaboration with Western clients. So, lead qualification, what it is. Let me share with you my opinion and share also why it's important. So, the main challenge is why the lead qualification doesn't work well in many sales department is that basically it doesn't exist. Most of the salespeople, they believe that they are good enough to feel if this lead is good or not, and this is really not true in most of the cases. We have a better and worse days, and we can make a better and worse judgments. So relying on your feelings, it's not really the best way. So lead qualification is to it's like a process, or it's basically list out number of criterias to qualify lead on the very specific stage of engagement with the our company. And there could be two different level of qualifying leads. First, it could be for marketing department where they are more like labeling leads, and actually here marketing automation can come and do it for us automatically. And then in the sales department, we qualify lead manually, meaning we have a bunch of the criteria, and then we are assigning, we do check boxes, let's say like that, if the client fit in with this criteria. So this is number one, and this is super important to know what it is and to have it. And when I say to have it, it must be written, and everybody must be trained and know how to follow up. So let's move to the next point on how many levels we should qualify lead or we can qualify lead. So I give you already first main distinction. We can qualify this on the level of marketing, where the lead is not lead yet. Meaning there is somebody, potential prospect, let's call it like this, or prospect just, or cold lead, whatever you like to call them. They engage with your company, with your brand online somehow. And then you can use marketing automation, for instance, to automatically qualify the lead based on the labels you assign in this marketing automation tool. So that's the first level. I will not get deep into it because this is not what this episode about. We are talking more about the sales department here today. So the second place, which might be very surprising for most of you, but the second place where we qualify lead is actually before we do lead generation. So you might think, Adam, this sounds crazy. What you are qualifying if you didn't generate anything? And your first lead qualification tool is your ICP, meaning ideal client profile. So before actually we start generating any lead, we need to design our ideal client profile. And this client profile, what we will design, or even avatar, what we will have, this is the first level where we will be qualifying leads that we will be approaching. So we need to make sure that we are approaching correct leads and they falling into our sales funnel, and we need to make sure that the correct leads falling into our sales funnel, the first level of the funnel. So the ICP, ideal client profile, can help us to do it. By the way, if you don't know how to design ideal client profile and you would like me to share this information, let me know. I can record the podcast about that as well, including how to design avatars. So that's the first level. Second level. Second level where we qualify lead is when we get first communication exchange with the client. And I do not mean here direct communication exchange that we had a online call, direct meeting, so on and so forth. Even first messaging. So client engage with us and client say to us through the email, listen, this is not relevant to me. Thank you for your offer, but I don't want to hear anymore from you. So we can qualify this lead right away as not suitable. But then if the client say to you, okay, thank you so much for information. Sounds quite interesting. I would like to learn more. Okay, and this is the place also where we need to qualify lead. Obviously, we can not only qualify in this time the lead based on the content. There are additional activities we need to do, and I will explain this in the tool section. But this is the place where we need to start qualifying the lead already. So first of all, it's your ICP. Second, it's first communication. And next, after first discovery call. So after first discovery call, we should be able to qualify the lead again, but this time on the higher level. So I call it this qualify to buy. So if I go from the very beginning, I would say there is the ICP, your first qualification, then there is qualified lead, and then we have a last level where we need to qualify. It's a qualified to buy. And what it is, it's again bunch of the criteria that during your discovery call, you need to verify with the client during or before or after. You need to verify with the client and make sure that he match, he tick all of boxes or 90% boxes, it's up to you what is the agreement with the team. And yeah, then after that you can qualify this lead to buy. And that would be the three main levels we need to consider when we qualify our lead. So let's move on to tools. First tool that you can use is your ICP framework and avatar profile. So as I was discussing before, this is quite straightforward. You need to design your ICP, and it's best if you have your avatar because it will give you a lot of additional information about the client. If you have those, then this is your first tool, the whole profile of the client. Second, it's your research process. So, when we qualify and lead on the after first communication exchange, we should have a very specific system how we do the research. So I can quickly guide you on how we do the research. So basically, when the client contact with us and said, "Oh, this is sounds interesting, I would like to learn more," I will teach my team to, first of all, go to the LinkedIn client and see who is the person we're talking to. Second, see the company on the LinkedIn. And when we are at the company, we need to see about number of followers, number of employees, then go to the people card and see who is working in this company, see how they're divided for engineering department, business development department, leadership department, see if they're already outsourcing or have resources offshore, nearshore, see if they maybe had some investment event recently, see if they hiring, check out about the headcounts growing or is they reducing headcount. When we looking at the personal profile of the person, it's very important to see their bio, their description, their previous experience, their current experience, what they're doing, maybe see if they have some hobbies, passion. And then we go to the website and discover more about the company. We discover about the company services, case study, so on and so forth. So this is actually a standard process that we are teaching for researching about the leads and to qualify them. And the reason is because we have very specific criteria to qualify in the leads on the early stage. And if we go through this research, we should be able to align with those criteria. And then next tool is micro commitment. So sometimes you might talk with the client and try to figure out if he or she is, you are asking many questions and they answering positively that they might be a qualified lead here. But sometimes, client are answering positively to some questions just because they want to find out information. So if you want to bring them level higher and check it a little bit deeper, so let's say we're trying to qualify to buy during the discovery call, I am encouraging to use something what I call micro commitment. So get the client to confirm from their side if this is something that's suitable for them or they would like to change. So for instance, let's say you presenting some type of the roadmap or you presenting a next step and you ask them, does it make sense for you? Do you want to proceed like this or you would like to change something? Okay, and multiple micro commitment during the discovery call can help you to figure out if the client is really interested or if the client really align with your criteria in the lead qualification process. Next, it's brainstorming session itself and the roadmap. So, what is brainstorming session? First, I actually could record a completely separate episode or two even about brainstorming session. So, quickly say, brainstorming session. It's in the sales process we design for our client. We don't have something like technical meeting. We don't have something like proposal. We have a brainstorming session. And during this brainstorming session, it's the tool for us to qualify the leads. Are they qualified to buy on the highest level? And also during that meeting, we're using specific roadmap. And what does it do? Because you can notice that I give you a qualification level until to the qualified to buy and not moving any further than that. And the reason is because when we have this brainstorming session, is designed this way that if client will go through positively and check all boxes during the brainstorming session, we don't have to qualify anymore because the likelihood that we will close this deal it's more than 90%. And so in our organization, when we work with our client, we use in brainstorming session and the roadmap as one of the tools to qualify to buy the leads. So that was the tools and that was the lead qualification levels. To summarize, we should have lead qualification on the three levels. First is ICP, second is qualified lead, third it's qualified to buy. Next, as our tools to help us qualify lead, first we use ICP framework and avatar framework. Second, we use in process for the research of the client. Third, our micro commitment. Fourth, it's roadmap and brainstorming session. And the last point I would like to share with you during this podcast is what next? What should we do? So first of all, probably you noticed that I didn't give you criteria. And there is the specific reason why I don't give you criteria. Because criteria could be different for different businesses, for different service offering, and for different product. That's why the number one step for you is figure out the criteria, how you will be qualifying the leads. That's number one. Additionally, if you don't have an ICP created and avatar, this is actually where you need to start. But ICP and avatar, you need to start maybe in the stage that where you planning for the new year. And so when I create this podcast, I assume that you will have already your ICP and avatar. However, if you do not have those elements, please start there. Make sure you have them. Then you have a criteria for qualified lead. Then you have a criteria for qualified to buy. Okay, that's the three steps for the lead qualification that you should do as a next action. Additionally, you need to make sure that the criteria I'm giving you, they're aligned with the sales process. And again, when I'm saying that, I am assuming that you have sales process. So this is very important to keep in the mind. Yes, if you don't have a sales process, maybe you just need to skip this episode and start from building the sales process. Again, if you have no ICP, you need to start there as well. But make sure that the criteria and levels that you qualify, it's matching with your sales process overall. Next, it's the tools I gave you. Let's say research process. It must align with your sales process too. So create this research process, how we will research our client, align this with the sales process, and align this, the most important, align this with criteria from qualified lead. So the process should look like this, that it allowed us to qualify the lead even before we meet them on the discovery call. So you can see how this statement appointing that the research process need to be aligned with the lead qualification criteria and sales process in the same time. I hope this makes sense. It might be a little bit confusing for everyone who don't have an ICP and sales process yet, and that's why I'm saying it's really important to have those before you approach with the lead qualification task. But that's the another tool, and then the last step That's the next step I would like to take you. And the last step, what I would like you to do is implement some simple CRM where you will use at this stage some basic function to monitor data and record our information, the lead qualification, the lead information, and make salespeople easy, first of all. But second, keep it record for the sales manager. And the third, keep it in archive in case if the salesperson change. So that will allow you to onboard another PIC, person in charge, very quickly. So that's it from my side. I hope that it bring the value for you. And this is the reason why I'm doing this. This is the reason why I'm waking up 5 a.m. Preparing this podcast for you guys and talking to you. I really hope that those information you can take and apply into your life, into your sales department, into your business, and feel how it's changing right after. And then, if you have a challenge, either in the qualification criteria, ICP, or sales process, I know sometimes it might be difficult. You can come back to our organization and ask us for help. What we are doing professionally. That's the first thing. Second, you can also drop the comment and ask me directly to get deep into some specific subjects. So, like ICP, how to create ICP, how's the sales process look like in organizations that sell in, let's say, IT services, how to build the avatar. Feel free to leave all of those comments, questions, and then I see if there is some common question. I will create the podcast and will explain how can we do those activities. I hope you enjoy. This was Go Global Asia podcast, and I wish you a lot of qualified to buy leads every day. Take care.